Hello out there. Welcome to Pcgtv Sports Time with Jerome. My name is Jerome Autry. Today we have a highlight show. What we've been doing over the last few months, we decided to deviate a little or digress from what we have been used to a show that maybe the style and format is different. But then I can assure you that you're going to enjoy it. We'll be looking at some topical issues that have taken place or events that have taken place in the last 1 week. And we'll be giving you highlights of those events and their accompanying issues. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we take the scripture for the day and I will go deep into the issues and all that there is to talk about them. Don't go anywhere. As I was saying, today's show is extraordinary. Extraordinary in the sense that we are not used to this style and format. What we are used to, however, is what I'm just going to share with you, and that is the scripture for the day. And today I take you to Leviticus. I've been reading Leviticus the whole of this month, actually, the whole of February. And today I read Leviticus chapter 20, verses 23, and I share with you what is there. Here the Lord was talking to Moses, giving instructions to Moses and his people and what they should be doing. And so in verse 23 of chapter 20, it says, "Do not live according to the customs of the people I am driving out before you. It is because they do these shameful things that I detest them." So God was instructing Moses and his people to live in a certain way, to live according to certain standards. Standards not of the people who he was driving out to hand their land to the Israelites, but standards according to what God wants. And it's the same thing that God expects of us, to live according to what his word says and not what the world says or what other people tell us or what the word of God says. So Leviticus 20:23 encourages us to live according to the standards of God. And that's what we are doing here on Pcgtv Sports. We go for another break. When we come back, I will let you know what issues we are talking about today and their accompanying videos. Stay tuned. Welcome back. As I was telling you, today we are looking at some topical issues, sporting issues that have dominated the media scene the whole of this week. And number one, or we have 3 or 4 issues to look at. Number one is the African Cup of Nations. Ghana is not going to be at the next African Cup of Nations that will be played later this year in Morocco. But this week, some interesting conversation got underway all the way from England. England doesn't participate in the AFCON, yet we had a former English footballer, Jimmy Carragher, who also played for Liverpool, talking about Mohamed Salah and his chances of winning the Ballon d'Or. And in talking about it, he said that Salah would have to win a major tournament. And by that, he was referring to the World Cup and maybe the Champions League and something else, and not the AFCON. He said the World Cup and the Euros specifically, I mean, Salah doesn't play in the Euros. But he said because Salah doesn't stand a chance of winning any major tournament, his chances of winning a Ballon d'Or is also limited. And then he went on to say that the AFCON, the African Cup of Nations, as we know it, isn't a major tournament. And that is where the world, especially in the African context, came on him, telling him that, what do you mean? The AFCON is not a major tournament, then what is it? He sought to clarify his argument, but then I think he even worsened it. Let's go and look at exactly what Jimmy Carragher said. And when we come back, we'll look at the reactions or some of the reactions that dominated the media landscape.
I think the fact he's probably with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance to win. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally, the player who excels in that. You know, you're looking at sort of Vinny Junior and Mbappe right now. Real Madrid looking really good, going for the Champions League. Liverpool will be in that conversation, but right now he's certainly the front runner. And Roy, what you just said then in terms of getting maybe more trophies and league titles, that could actually put him above probably Kenny Dalglish and Steven Gerrard in sort of where he ranks in terms of Liverpool legends, because I think right now he's right on their shoulders.
You heard there Jimmy Carragher talking about the Salah issue and the Ballon d'Or and the fact that to him, the AFCON is not a major tournament. But one of the guys on the show, Micah Richards, made him understand that the AFCON is indeed a major competition. You cannot say the AFCON is not a major competition. I mean, this is a competition that it's played now by half of Africa. I mean, we have 50 plus African countries, and if you have 24 of them participating, how dare you say that the AFCON is not a major tournament? Let's listen to Micah Richards, more like countering the point that Jimmy Carragher made.
To say AFCON is a major tournament because a lot of people are saying people not taking that. AFCON is a major tournament, just so you know.
No, well, Egypt never win the World Cup, have they?
No, but AFCON is big, wasn't it? Remember when him and Mane was going through it and the league? I'm just saying AFCON.
It's a fact. You're in your place. It's a fact. If you're in the Euros or you're in the Copa America, it's deemed to be big, so the AFCON's in the same level.
So Micah Richards there, and if you look at the video very well, Jimmy Carragher did not even seem to agree. He sort of scoffed the idea that indeed the AFCON is a major tournament. But we have to make him understand, that indeed the African Cup of Nations is a major tournament because it's a tournament of the African continent. And the African continent is second to Asia in terms of population. How do you even come up with the idea that such a competition is not big or it's not major? This is a competition that has produced great stars over time. Great stars. Even from Ghana, we can talk of Abedi Pele. Even before Abedi Pele, we had Osei Kofi, Ibrahim Sande, a whole lot. I mean, the world did not agree with him. And a lot of people have been talking about the fact that Jimmy Carragher got it wrong. One Egyptian legend, one of the guys who have won the AFCON, I think 4 times or so, came out to say something. And that is what you can see on your screens. The Egyptian legend making it clear to Jimmy Carragher that indeed the AFCON is a major tournament and he cannot speak the way he has spoken about the AFCON. And I'm happy that all the guys, most of the guys that have come to play the AFCON before came not so hard, but directly on Carragher and the point he sought to make, which all of us here on the continent disagree with. And I'm talking about Ahmed Hassan, a CAF ambassador and a 4-time winner of the African Cup of Nations. He issued an official statement. So a lot of people have disagreed with Jimmy Carragher. Some of our colleagues back home, some journalists think that Carragher has a point. Others disagree with him. And as again, you can see on your screen, one of the guys that have spoken about the AFCON and the position of Jimmy Carragher is Augustine Ahimfo, a former Black Stars player. He spoke to Sporty FM in Accra, and there you have it on your screen. He said, our competition that is referring to the AFCON is not recognized outside by the so-called big giants, that is the UEFA guys. And that's why Carragher will make such a point. And Kojo Adai-Mensah, a banker and also a sports enthusiast, also speaking to Sporty FM, made the same point. He said that if you are comparing the AFCON to Copa America, for example, it is not the same. Copa America, in his opinion, is bigger than the AFCON. I disagree with him, but then these are some of the conversations that have taken place around the AFCON. And we'll leave it there and move on to the next issue, which is the return of the Ghana Premier League. So many things have happened in the last 1 month following the unfortunate stabbing and eventual killing of the Asante Kotoko fan, Francis Nana Yao Frimpong, or Francis Yao Frimpong, who accompanied Kotoko to Instructorman for their match day 22 fixture. Unfortunately, he didn't return home. The fan was killed at the venue, and this prompted so much reactions. I mean, outpour of grief, anger, and condemnation of such an unfortunate development. Kotoko then decided that they are pulling out of the league for some time until justice prevails. I mean, that is the statement they issued. But in the last weeks, as we have seen, there's been engagement. So Kotoko and House of Folk came together, issued a statement. That's a statement, a joint statement they issued, and said that they made some demands of the league and asked that those demands are met. The GFA president, as you can see on your screen, visited Asante Kotoko 18 days after the incident. He wasn't here, he wasn't well. And so when he came back, he paid a visit to Kumasi, visited the Kotoko team, visited the Kotoko management to understand the issues that have taken place and also sympathize with the club and the family. And after all that, Kotoko now have decided that when Nana Pole, that is the fan that was stabbed and killed, when he's buried on the 6th of March, they will return to the Ghana Premier League. And as I was telling you, so many things have taken place. I mean, there was a vigil for Nana Pole. I mean, you can see pictures of that on your screen. Hearts and Kotoko fans came together, did something nice on that night. There was also the 1 week rights for Nana Pole, top football officials, the family, the Kotoko leadership, and everyone joined hands to mourn our departed brother. And Kotoko, as I told you, have said that when everything is over, when the guy's family and all the guys in football in Ghana come together to mourn him during the funeral on the 6th of March, when those things are done, the team will be back on the field to play. And that's good news. But talking about the Ghana Premier League, a lot of things have been happening. I mean, if you put aside the fact that Asante Kotoko are returning, the league itself is returning, Alhaji Grusa, one-time member of the Ghana Premier League with King Faisal. Now King Faisal is in the Division 1 league, but Alhaji Grusa has been talking about the Ghana Premier League and its return. He granted an interview to Sporty FM in Accra, and that is Alhaji Grusa here, getting down from the car and getting into the studios of Sporty FM. He had some wild things to say on the Ghana Premier League, and a whole lot. He spoke about the Black Stars, the fact that a couple of years ago he was a member of the Black Stars Management Committee. They were given money for what they call work done for the nation. They were given $100,000 each. Not everybody came to speak about it. Alhaji himself spoke about it. And let's go and listen to what he told Sporty FM, relative to that money that was given to them.
So, for example, they went to the World Cup in Qatar, and you're a management member of the GFA.
Yes.
And you got $100,000.
Yes.
Do you think you deserved that $100,000?
Thank you. Who first accepted about the share the 100,000?
Management.
No. I say we share the 100,000. Who tell the Ghanaians? Yes, he get his 100,000.
You said it. But you said it. You said it on radio that you have received $100,000.
Because I see people don't want say we received this money. We received this money and they want kickback 50%.
Who wants kickback 50%?
The GFA. The GFA.
They called you that they want kickback 50%.
They won't say kickback. They say I should bring 50%. They want to share to some people, those who in football didn't go.
Was that the original arrangement?
No. Me too, I never get kind of this money. I'm in football. Somebody collected money, then they take some of his money and give it to me before.
So did you ask who were the people they're going to give those money to?
Look, Ghana, you leave Ghana like you see Ghana. They born you in Ghana. Pray for Mighty Allah to get your daily
bread.
So there you had Alhaji Grosa speaking about the Black Stars Management Committee and the money he took, how he was asked to return part of it and all that. And as you can see on your screen, I was just telling you that Alhaji has been saying a lot of things. So for instance, he's been speaking on club football management in Ghana, and he says that he named his team King Faisal after the Saudi Arabia king. And the man around that time was kind enough to give him $5,000 for naming his team, which started as a Colts club known as what you can see on your screen, Olympic Babies. He changed the name to King Faisal Football Club, and the king of Saudi Arabia around that time, King Faisal himself, gave him money, and he used the money to purchase kits as he then set up the club. So he goes on to say that in the past, footballers didn't ask for much, but now things have changed. It's one of the things Alhaji told Sporty FM, as you can see on your screen there. He said football is about determination, dedication, and display. The 3 Ds of football, according to the philosophy of Alhaji Grosa, about dedication, display, and determination. And to him, he was asked about who he thinks is the greatest footballer he has seen or worked with or managed, and he said Opoku Efriye, the late Opoku Efriye, Elias Beye, and Joe Debra. Unfortunately, the two of them are all late. He also spoke about the GFA and said that the GFA determines who wins the league and who goes on relegation, something that has warranted a lot of criticism on Alhaji and at the same time on the Ghana Football Association. Some people think that, look, Alhaji has to be spoken to. He can't say these things without proof and then more like denigrate the image of the Ghana Premier League, a league that a lot of people are investing in. He should be careful with some of the things he says. I think it's a good time to go for a break. When we come back, a lot more issues to look at on this highlight show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. And as you know, we are already in the month of March. And in this month, Black Stars of Ghana has 2 World Cup qualifiers to play. And in preparation towards that, the new Black Stars technical director, Winfried Schäfer, he's a German. He has arrived in the country, and the officers of the national team, the technical team, met him on arrival at the airport. As you can see on your screen, this was Schäfer meeting some technical team members of the Black Stars at the University of Ghana Stadium. They were there on a certain assignment, and he was met there. I mean, he went there and they met him. You can see them interacting. We don't know exactly what they shared, but we are hoping that he is going to add to the technical expertise and experience of the Black Stars technical team and help us make it to the World Cup qualifiers. In fact, win the qualifiers as expected and make it to the next World Cup, which will be hosted by Mexico, the United States of America, and Canada. A lot of people expect Ghana to be there, and we also expect Ghana to be there. Maybe if Ghana goes, Pcgtv will be there to follow up on the developments in Ghana's camp. So we wish the Black Stars the best. And talking about the Black Stars, this week, in fact, on Thursday, the president of the land, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, gave his State of Nation address. And as you well know, he said a lot of things. But on this channel, and particularly for this program, we are only interested in the sports aspect of the things he said. And the president has been talking about a lot of things. Some of the things he said, I'm sure, resonate very well with the people. So, for instance, he spoke about the refurbishment of our sports infrastructure. The stadiums we have, they are not in good shape. Some of them poorly maintained. And he said that there's going to be a plan. Government has a plan to make sure that these state facilities that helps us to develop sports are taken good care of. Let's go and listen to what the president said regarding the refurbishment of state sports infrastructure.
Infrastructure development remains paramount in our strategy. The government is committed to refurbishing existing national stadia, completing youth resource centers, and constructing new sports facilities in the new regions. We'll also prioritize community recreational facilities to foster greater participation in sports at the grassroots level.
So the president also spoke about the state of Ghana sports. I mean, he's not too happy with the way sports in Ghana appear to have taken a downward trend. A lot of things not going well. And his observation is that this is not where Ghana should be, and that his government is going to look at what they can do or what must be done to bring back Ghana to the international sport circles. I mean, where Ghana should be, so that if it is a World Cup, if it is the Olympic Games, whatever it is that it's happening in the sports arena on the international scene, you'll find Ghana there. Once again, let's go and listen to what the president has to say on the state of Ghana sports at the moment.
Critical juncture. Historically, our nation has been celebrated and has had remarkable achievements in boxing, football, and athletics. Unfortunately, this is no longer the case. However, recent years have unveiled depressing structural deficiencies in administration, funding, infrastructure, and talent development. Immediate and comprehensive reforms are imperative to reclaim our rightful place on the global sports stage. Mr. Speaker, we will develop a comprehensive national sports policy to align with international norms. This policy will be accompanied by an exhaustive review of the Sports Act of 2016, that is Act 934, and the rigorous enforcement of the Sports Regulations 2023 LI 2477. Recognizing the critical role of youth development, we're implementing a significant overhaul of grassroots sports with the establishment of the School Sports Authority. This body will oversee structured inter-school competitions and talent identification initiatives essential for nurturing future sporting champions. Over 60% of Ghana's elite athletes have emerged from these school sport programs. The ministry has now been renamed the Ministry of Sports and Recreation. To acknowledge the significance of recreation, we will launch a National Recreation Day. This will be a monthly initiative centered on community engagement alongside an annual National Recreation Festival. These initiatives will encourage keep fit activities and promote active lifestyles. It will promote traditional games and strengthen community bonds.
Going yet, there's one more thing the president spoke about, which I think has touched the hearts of many people. I'm engaging social media reactions and gauging the commentaries from people. It appears that the comment by the president on holding the GFA accountable, making sure that the budgets of the Black Stars and all the monetary issues relative to the senior national team are well handled, it's something that a lot of people are happy with. And I'm reading to you, it's on your screen. You can see what the president said. We're going to show you the video, but then the president said that there will be no secrecy in how much government spends on the national teams, not just the Black Stars, but all our national teams. You know, sometimes the teams go for tournaments and we don't have any idea of how much is being spent, although it is the taxpayers' money that are spent on our national teams. And Mr. President is saying that under his watch, under his government or governance, there will be no secrecy. There will be no hiding of budgets and expenditure on the management of our national teams. He also said that the budgets that are presented by the FA and other sports associations must be known by the public. This is great, and I commend the president for that. You know, it builds confidence in our governance systems relative to sports. And President Mahama made it clear that he has charged his sports minister, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Mr. Kofi Adams, to look at how the FA will be held accountable relative to their budgets and all the monetary issues. Let's go and have a listen to what the president said in relation to that.
Next month, the senior national team, the Black Stars, which is now a pale shadow of its former glory, will play 2 World Cup qualifying matches. I've instructed my office and the Minister for Sports and Recreation to hold the Ghana Football Association accountable to the people of Ghana as we prepare for these games, especially regarding the budget of the FA. There will be no secrecy in how much the government spends on the national teams. The budgets presented by the FA and other sports associations must be known by the public. After all, it is the taxpayers' funds that are used to fund these activities. The reduction in government expenditure and waste reduction applies to all sectors of the economy, including the Ministry of Sports and Recreation.
So that was the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, on the state of sports and what he intends to do, holding the GFA accountable, refurbishing the state sports infrastructure, and all that. We can only wish that things go the way the government wants so that all of us benefit and all of us enjoy our sports. And talking about enjoyment, I'm sure you have enjoyed this show. Hopefully next week, God willing, will come your way with another interesting package, another interesting discussion on Ghana sports and world sports. This has been your host, Jerome Ochiri, on Pcgtv Sports, where we say, in thy light, there is light. Goodbye.